Are you looking for more ways to save money in a grocery budget? Who isn't these days? Well, that's what I have here for you today. I'm Kristen at Joyfully Thriving. I'm naturally a frugal grocery shopper, and I've had some questions about how I keep my budget as low as I do. I currently shop for a family of six on a $475 monthly budget. And I've been very honest that my budget should not be your budget. It changes for everyone based on a lot of different factors. That said, I do believe that everyone can save money on their grocery budget. So, I asked you all last week in my weekly grocery hauls. If you're new here and haven't checked those out, be sure you do. I share a frugal grocery haul every Thursday. So go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any of those because I'd love to have you here. If you want to save money on groceries, I'm your gal because I love finding all the deals and helping you to do that as well. So after the last week's grocery haul and in my email newsletter, I asked you all, I said, what are some of your biggest questions that you currently have about grocery budgets? How can I help you? Because that really is my goal here at Joyfully Thriving. It's always to help you save money in a practical way. So whether it's on my website with the different articles I share there, and I have hundreds of articles over there. If you haven't ever checked out my website, I'll leave a link in the description so you can check that out too. But I also have lots of YouTube videos. I have whole playlists on frugal grocery hauls every week, how to build a stockpile on a budget, my grocery shopping tips on a budget, and just anything I can do to help you save money. That's my goal. And I really want to do that in a kind of a friendly girl next door type of way. I'm not an expert by any means. Other than that, I've been doing this a long time. I've always enjoyed the game, if you will, of keeping my budget low for our family. This started when we were newlyweds and my husband and I were both teaching on low salaries, so I just wanted to stretch our budget as far as I could. Then when we started having kids and I stayed home and we became a one income family, then I really felt that was my job to stretch our budget as far as I could. So I enjoyed that challenge and just started doing that. And the longer you do it, the easier it gets. I will say that right away. It takes practice. This isn't something you can just jump into overnight, but with time, I believe anyone can do it. So let's talk today about some of your questions, and I'm so excited about these. Thanks to everyone who submitted them. So let's just go ahead and get started, shall we? All right, we're going to start with the question from Mary. And Mary asked, how did you come up with your grocery budget number? Now, that's a great question because 475, it just kind of seems like a number out there. I've been tracking my budget actually since 2011 when I started on my blog, and I would share pictures every week for a while. I did it in different formats for years. So I have been tracking it very carefully. And I think when you start tracking it, you just budget what you know you can afford and you go from there. That's one way to set it. When I started tracking, I just looked back at the numbers. So over the last 10 years, so in 2013, it was just my husband and I at home. I had a monthly budget of $180, which is very interesting to look back at because 10 years later and four kids and looking at shortages and inflation and all of that, our monthly budget is now $475, which is basically $300 higher a month. So there are a couple ways to do it. Number one, you start by just budgeting what you can afford. You look through your budget, your mortgage, all your things, your salary that's coming in, divide it up and figure that out. If you're looking for a more concrete way to do it, there are two ways that I recommend. The first one would be Dave Ramsey, who is a money expert that a lot of people follow. He recommends using 10% of your salary as a guideline for food at home, your groceries. So if you're going to include eating out in your budget, which I don't in my grocery budget, I keep that separate, but then he would recommend increasing it to 15%. But I would use his number that 10% of your salary is a good budget to start at. Or some people use, and this is a very easy number to use, I found, and pretty effective. If you're looking for a frugal grocery budget, you do $100 per person per month. And if you use that number, again, I think that's a great way to set a budget. So hope that helps. I've just been adjusting my budget from where I started, and I kind of increase it slowly as I see the need go up, and we are currently at 475. We'll see how long that lasts. I am toying around with the idea of raising my budget again, so stay tuned. We'll see when that happens. The next question is from Kathleen, and she asks, do you have a separate budget for non-food items you buy at the store, like your paper and personal care products? And that's a really good question. Short answer, no. For me, I have found it easiest that I just group it all together. Many of those things I am buying when I am already at the store anyways. When I go to Walmart for some of my low-priced grocery staples, then I'm going to pick up the shampoo I need, or the paper towels, or the cleaning supplies, whatever else I need. Or a lot of times, if you're new here, I will get those on Amazon through some subscribe and save orders. So I just really have found, for me right now, that $475 a month includes our groceries. It includes our paper products, our personal care items. It used to include diapers. After 10 years in diapers, we no longer have any kids in diapers as of last month. We're super excited about that. But it includes anything I would buy at the grocery store for our family right now. That is how it works for me. There's no right or wrong. A lot of people I know do keep it separate, but you just have to decide what works for your family. I will say that if you've been around here, because I have a stockpile that I've built using my grocery budget and very little extra money, a lot of it has come out of my, majority of it has come out of my grocery budget. Because I have a stockpile, I don't have to buy some of these things very often at all. You know, I can get by with buying deodorant for my husband and myself once a year when I find a good deal at Sam's, or different things. Like, I go a long time because I have a stockpile. And for me, that really does help. And it's probably some of the reason why I do keep it all grouped together. All right, next question. This was, I didn't have a name on it, but it was from someone on YouTube. Last week's video, they asked, when you're under budget, do you place that money aside to help offset when you are over budget? And that's a great question, because if you caught my monthly recap last month, you would have seen that I went over budget thanks to an oversight on a receipt. I've been under budget, I think, let's see, we're in month 9. I think 6 of the months I've been under budget, and 2-3 months I've been over so far. But technically the answer is no. I don't, but also the answer is technically yes. Let me explain. So because I've been doing this so long, I track our budget on the Keep app on my phone. Every time I go to the store, I just put the total, the date, and the store where I went, and I just keep a running total. So I know how much room I have in my budget. This works for me because I do pay for my budget with credit cards. We pay our credit cards off every month. We never carry a balance, never have, never will. And so for us, this works. We are very disciplined, and we do it to get the rewards. If you are new to a grocery budget, I do recommend a cash budget because it holds you very closely accountable if you're used to just saying, oh, I'm going to go over this month or not. So because I budget into our yearly budget at the beginning of the year, that $475 budget, anytime I'm over or under, that money is still just kind of floating around in our checking account. So technically, no, I'm not physically setting the money aside, but technically, yes, it's still there in our checking. Does that make sense? I'm always surprised by the end of the year. I average everything out. I total up all the trips, and I am generally very, very close to my set budget, like within dollars when it averages out. So stay tuned. I do a grocery audit at the end of every year. If you're really curious, I have one from the end of last year. I'll leave a link to that video and you can check it out to see how that works out. But for me right now, technically we'll go with no for an answer on that one, that I don't set the money aside. All right, I'm really excited about this next question from Sandra. She asked, how far away are the stores you frequent? And this is a great question because if you've been around here, you see that I shop at a lot of different stores and it varies week by week. I don't go to the same stores every week. I go to Kroger quite a bit. I occasionally shop at Meijer. We have an Aldi, we have a Walmart, and a Sam's. Those are the stores that I shop to. And thankfully, they are all very close. But to give you a precise answer, Sandra, I went ahead and looked them up on Google Maps to tell you. Now, I actually have 2 Krogers close by to us. One is right by my house, and it's 2.0 miles away, so really close, 5 minutes it takes me. But then we have another Kroger that's a little farther, 5.7 miles, 11 minutes, but it is actually, I pass it every day on the way to and from school. So I have started going to that one quite a bit. When I'm coming home from teaching in the morning with Caleb, I will swing into Kroger and shop there. So I'm not going any further distance out of the way. So that is the Kroger I typically shop at, even though it's a little further. Again, it's right on my way going back home from school. Then to get to the other stores, I pass Sam's is 4.0 miles away, 8 minutes. And right across the street from that is Meijer, so also 4.0 miles, the maps say. And again, right across the street. When I go to Sam's, I pass by Sam's and keep going just a little bit further. I don't have to turn off the road, and it's 3.1 miles to Walmart, 7 minutes. And Aldi is just like 2 blocks farther, 3.5 miles, 7 minutes. So again, I pass by Sam's and I go across the street to Meijer if I need it. And then I come from Sam's to Walmart to Aldi, again, right in the row. And if I would turn by Aldi, I could get to that Kroger right over by school. So when I'm coming home, again, if I need something, like I can do Kroger and I reverse it, go to Aldi and Walmart and head back home. Or if I'm going to school the other way, I just swing by Sam's. I really try to group them all on when I'm out running errands to save on gas and my time. But as you can see, all of those stores are 5 miles or less away from my house. So I'm very thankful to have that many options available to me. The next question comes from Lisa, and she asks, do special food requests like birthdays and holidays put you over budget, or do you plan for that? Yes, I try to plan for that. And how? I have a stockpile. For when it comes for birthdays, I always let the birthday person pick their birthday meal and the treat they want. So I might need to go out and get a couple special ingredients for different things, but meat, if you've seen my freezer, I keep a stocked freezer. So any of the entrees they pick, I pretty much have all those supplies on hand. Holidays, I start shopping early for holidays. So even now, working nearing the end of September, I'm starting to watch for sales when October hits and November. They start running great deals. Baking things go on sale. I love those sales, and I'm going to stock up. So I am ready for all my holiday baking and all my holiday meals. And then if I see a really good price, of course, I'm going to buy more than what I need for just the holidays. And I'm going to add it to my stockpile so that I'm saving our money and family money. And I have those supplies for whenever I need it throughout the year. So really, no, they don't often put me over budget. If I do need to go get some special ingredients, I just balance it out by maybe buying fewer things of my staples that month. So that's the question for you there. All right, the next question comes from Terry, who asks, do you only shop from the sale ads, or do you buy what you want for the meals you plan? Answer, short and simple, yes. So I do shop from the sale ads primarily. And if I need something for a meal, yes, I will go ahead and buy that too. However, most of my shopping for the week is really from the sale items. I look at the sale ads, and then I look at what's in my pantry and my freezer, and I make my menu plan from that. So because I am doing that, and because I have a stockpile, I find that I really don't have to go out and buy a lot of special ingredients every week on a weekly basis. Now, if we're entertaining and wanted a special meal for a company, or we're having people over, then yes, I might need a couple more special items that week. But as a whole, I really do try to just stay ahead of what we need, and having that stockpile really, really helps our family. The last question today comes from Jessica, who asked, and this is a good one. I could do a whole video on this, and I might have to if there's more of you who are interested in this, so let me know. But her question was, how do I save money while eating a cleaner or stricter diet? She has some autoimmune things. I know some of you have allergies, so you are really limited more on your ingredients. As you notice, for our family, we do not have any allergies, thankfully, or anything that restricts us. So while I do a lot of cooking from scratch, I do buy processed ingredients or different things. For us right now, I buy conventional produce. I would rather get a larger variety rather than a smaller with organic. That is our choice. If you choose differently, that is certainly up to you. You just adjust your budget to allow for it. So here's a couple tips though, Jessica, because I know it's harder, and I know your budget is going to be harder because you're more limited. And some of those specialty items or the processed things, if you have to buy a gluten-free flour, yikes, those really add up in those type of ingredients. So I understand, and I have a good friend who they have a lot of allergies, and her budget is very high compared to mine, very, very high. So I understand those frustrations. So here's a couple of my tips though for that one. Go ahead and make sure you are shopping ahead and stocking on the sales. And I know there's not as sales as often as there might be on some other things, but like this is especially true on meat. If meat is a large part of your budget, and for those people it generally is, or a protein or your vegetables, anything that you know you use consistently, go ahead, watch for sales, stock up, and utilize your freezer and really try to plan ahead because that can save a lot of money. Some of that, like I said, it's that stockpiling, having those canned ingredients you need. You know, if it's used canned beans or canned tomatoes, all those different things. Again, stock up so you're not buying those things every week. If you can find a good sale and you have them in your shelves, that will help out. And then what other substitutions can you make? Can you buy frozen vegetables compared to the fresh if they're not on sale that week? You know, same thing with fruit. You know, what can you do? Can you substitute out a different sale vegetable for one that's not on sale this week? Look around and just see what little switches you can make to help stretch your budget a little further. I would think it's important really to know your cheapest store. And this is true for all of us, but especially if you need specialty items, think outside the box and really compare your prices. Maybe it's worth going to a specialty food store for a couple items. Maybe you can get cheaper organic produce by going to Aldi. Maybe it means ordering some things online at Amazon for some of those specialty items. Whatever it is, look around, really compare the prices on things you buy regularly, especially shelf-stable items, and see where your cheapest store is for shopping on all those things. Knowing that, now if your stores are far apart, you're not going to want to hit those every week. But if you know, okay, these things I'm going to buy at Aldi and I'm going to go to Aldi once a month. And then next week, I'm going to hit these up at a Fresh Time or a local Trader Joe's. And I'm going to go there and I'm going to buy these products. And then what low price things can I buy at Walmart to supplement my budget? So know your cheapest store and shop there for those items. And finally, I think one of the ways that's often overlooked is find ways to save money on your non-perishable food items, on your non-perishable items, not food items, just your non-perishables like your shampoo, your toilet paper, your paper towels, your deodorant. Find ways to save on those items to give yourself more room on your food budget. I think there are still great sales and deals on all of those things, whether you're shopping at Walmart or Aldi or Amazon, any of those things. And by doing that, saving money there or buying in bulk at Sam's when you find a good deal, that frees up money that you can spend on your food budget for more of those specialty items. All right, so those were our questions and answers for today. I hope those were helpful. I hope it gave you some good insight into some of my thoughts on grocery budgets, and it was fun to hear your questions and answer those. If this brought up more questions, leave them in the comments. I'd be happy to do another video if you find this helpful, or if it brings up more questions that you're just curious to hear my thoughts on when it comes to your grocery budget. All right, thanks for watching this week's video. Again, if you haven't subscribed already, I'd love for you to join me, and I will be back this Thursday with my frugal grocery haul for the week. So until then, be sure to check out all the other videos I have on saving money on groceries, and then I will see you in the next video.